Okay, welcome to another day with Zenler. So, a day with Zenler runs the last Friday of each month. We do two slots. We do the first slot, session 1, which is 3 hours long, and then the second slot, which runs at 3 p.m. BST time, runs for another 3 hours. So, we got a lot of stuff coming up today. In session 1, we have Manmeet talking about Zen Zone and why you should get involved. And then we have a very special one, and this is on the couch with Zenler, and Kevin's going to talk about more of that when we come on. But what I want to say to you right now is that if you want to come on the live, like right now, when Kevin does on the couch with Zenler, we're going to be putting the direct link so you can pop up inside here on the chat. So it's going to be inside the chat. So you can just jump straight in there. Now, what we're going to do is we've got the waiting room. So if you won't be let in straight away, but when Kevin invites you in, you'll be able to come in there. And this is like an informal chat. Like I'm not going to mention anymore because Kevin's going to mention it at the beginning. So this is a new thing that we're doing. Again, Kevin's going to mention that later. So as the first part of this, what we're going to do is we're going to run through the educational areas inside of Zenler. And also, I'm going to feature a couple of little things. Now, Manmeet's coming on at 9:30, so I've got to really go quick with this stuff. We might have some time left at the end. So again, you know, if you're here, put where you're from, hashtag where you're from. If you're going to watch on the replay, hashtag replay. And, you know, we'd like to see your comments coming in that you guys are getting engaged with what we're talking about and those sort of things. So if you're new to Zenler, if you're seasoned with Zenler, you'll know where all of our support documents are. But if you're not, this could be of interest to you. So we run lots of challenges. We have on-demand video training for you, loads of things, resources inside our tutorials.newzenler.com site where you can get access to those and you can see what's going on. We've even got status pages that tells you if any of our services are down on the site. We've got competitor matrix. There's just tons of things in the tutorial site. So my advice to you, if you're new to it, is to just go and have a look around, see what's available on our tutorial site. Then when you're ready, jump into the quick start guide. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what I mean. So let me jump to our screen. And there it is. Okay. Right, let's turn my video off so you've got the full screen experience. All right, so here is our tutorial site. So it's tutorials.newzenler.com. So if you're logged out, you're going to see something slightly different. So if you come in here, and I'm just going to go into incognito to show you a logged out version, you're going to see this. So it's going to say, welcome to our educational support. If you want to find out a bit more about the educational support area, you can click here and you get a little pop-up tells you a little bit about the educational hub. If you're new to Zenler, brand new to Zenler, you can do an onboarding session there. So you can have a tour of Zenler with Alice there. And down here, if you sign up for this, you can get access to all of our on-demand, live challenges, live events, latest features. So you can join for free here. You can just fill that out and then you'll be logged in. Also down the bottom, and I want to put this in here, if you are a student or you want to give out a link to the Zenler app, we've also got the little app icons here. So you can give out the App Store one and the Google Play to our app that we have built into Zenler. So once you actually log in or you sign in, then you're going to go through to this page. And this now gives you a little bit more stuff going on in here. So inside here, again, you can take the tour if you're new. Inside this area, you can go to on demand. So we have all of our on-demand videos in here. And if I click that, go through to it, you're going to see we have a lot of videos. Now, you have different sectors. So if you're interested in marketing, you can go on here. You can learn extras, challenges that we've got running, and any networking such as Zen Chat, which is a bi-monthly, I think, networking. So you can go in there and you can network with other Zenler users. So that's a really cool thing. So we have filtering inside here. So I'm going to go through these. These are put in kind of order that you should actually run through. So the first one we always suggest is do the quick start guide. This will set the foundations for you going forwards with your Zenler site. So it will basically set your site up. So you can go through those things. You can basically learn the very basics of it, but have your site ready. And you can even do a course in there. You're going to see inside that was done live. So you're going to see a little clock that goes around that shows you the build time. And I think we created the site and the course in less than 2 hours. So you can see how quick you can work in Zenler. So it introduces you to things like the page builder, introduces you to setting up courses, goes through the pricing plans, all these kind of basic things to get your site running, naming your site, setting up the branding. So they're basic things. At the same time as that, you can actually go to the Zenler basic setup checklist. Now I'm going to be putting this into here and into here. So this will disappear from here eventually because it will be included in here. The reason being is that it's not really a course, it's a PDF. So you can download that PDF and it's a sheet where you can just print it out and you can just tick it off. So you can make sure you've ticked off the required or the optional things that we say that you need to do as part of your site. This PDF is growing, so we're going to be adding to it and covering other parts of the site as well. At the moment, it's just all the site settings. So after you finish those things, you'll be like, right, okay, well, yeah, my site looks good, my courses look good, but I want to learn a bit more. I want to make it look a little bit more, a bit more wow factor. I want to sort of try different things out. I want to see how the automations work. I want to try the marketing funnels. I maybe want to run lives. I want to do coaching sessions. So at that point, what you need to do is jump into the complete guide to Zenler. So this is our flagship course. It's massive. There is search in there, so you can search for videos, but we are completely revamping the complete guide to Zenler to make it even easier. And also, little sneak thing for you here, we're actually going to start creating, as we do each lesson, we're going to start creating articles. So you guys that are not interested in watching videos, probably because you're sick to death of me, you can actually look at the support article and you can work your way through that. So we're going to completely change our support doc side, which I'm going to show you in a minute, our support doc side, but we need to expand it. We need to make it easier for you guys to find things. And we want it in an article format as well. Maybe later on that article format be turned into a book as a kind of user guide for using Zenler, which we would of course give to you. So next thing we have down here is branding and design. So we realized that a lot of you are coming in not from a design background. So we wanted to give you a bit of advice. We wanted to help you with a little bit about how you can set branding up and design your Zenler site to make it look really, really good. So it's a really good one to go into and just like touch on things and cover those things. Right, next we were asked, and this was a question and it comes up all the time. Not so much now, funny enough, but it did at the beginning about a year ago. We were asked a year and a half ago. It was actually asked that, I've got a WordPress site. How do I make my Zenler site look like my WordPress site? So this inspired us to come up with ethically copy a site course layout style. So this takes WordPress sites and also other sites like Netflix, and it actually shows you us building it inside Zenler. Really quick to do. What I love about Zenler, as from a web design background, I love the fact that you can, and design it, you can pixel perfect everything. Okay, there's some slight limitations, but you can basically do anything you like if you know the system. So when you get to that more advanced stage, you'll be like anything you want to do. So next we have hardware and software. Again, another question, and most of these sub courses are from you guys on our community, our Facebook, our amazing Facebook community. These questions have come from you saying, what do you use for this? How do you do that? So we turn them into courses for you pretty quickly. We turn it into a course. So this particular one, hardware, software setup, creating course material, which is a growing course. It tells you about this kind of setup, like what we use at Zenler. And that really helps people like get the right equipment without overpaying for the equipment. And by the way, just touching on that point, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, just trying to get the times right, 4 o'clock this afternoon, Manmeet is on for a second time where she'll be talking about getting the equipment and software on a budget. Okay, so this could be really good for you as well. I'll be chiming in on that as well a little bit about how you go from budget to mid to more pro equipment later on. So that's hardware, software setup. And next we go on to Ninja Tricks. Now we advise only kind of advanced users to touch this. It does require using code. What I love about the Zenler system is that you have the ability, if you know code or you've got code snippets given to you, or you've picked them up off the internet, Zenler allows you to use or inject code into the site, and also to change the way that the styles work and things. And you can do some pretty amazing things. If you know what you're doing, you can completely design your site differently using code. So advanced Ninja Tricks, really good. We show you how to create sticky headers, parallax images, all this sort of stuff. And it's not hard. I know you're like, no, code, that's not what I signed up for. But honestly, when you grab your Google Analytics code and you paste it into the site, what are you doing? You're coding. You're putting code into the site. It's no different. You know, if you think of it, don't think of it as a complicated thing. It's all walked through in these videos in a very easy step. Now, if you know Tracy Browning, pretty much everybody does, she loves the advanced Ninja Tricks, and she goes in there and she does all that. And she will say, I'm not techie, you know, but she goes in and she implements all of those things easily. So she always talks about Ninja Tricks, you know, adding things in there. And of course, if I see anything come up on the Facebook group and I think, oh, that'd be good to be put in the Ninja Tricks, then I put it in there. So all of them are updated as much as we can with the time that we have. So next we have Zenler template packs. Now the template packs are really good because we give you some blocks, so you can copy those blocks. We show you how to install them, so you copy those blocks across to your site and you can reuse them in your site. So we've got whole page designs. We've also got blocks for things like forms, so inline forms. So instead of doing the standard form, we have an inline form that you can create. And we also have certificates, so how to edit and create your own custom certificates for your site. Yeah. So you need to go and look around at this stuff. Now, Sunday live workshops, we ran these 2022, it's 21 to 22, and we run workshops. So inside there, you're going to find big lessons. They're an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and they run through a particular subject. So if you guys haven't found, or you've looked in the complete guide to Zenler on funnels and you're like, well, that's not exactly what I want to do, I want to know a bit more about it, jump into these live Sunday workshops and you'll find probably that there'll be a whole workshop on something where all we're discussing is ideas like, you could do it this way, you could do it that way. This is how it works. So it really goes in deep, it deep dives into these things. So live Sunday workshops is a must. You must jump in there and have a look. Look at the live sections, look at the funnels, look at page builder, styling, design, this kind of thing. They're all in there. So you need to go in there and just check because they are there. Next, we have the marketing basics. So like you finished your course, you finished your site. It all looks lovely, looks amazing. Maybe you've got a lead magnet. Now you need to promote that. It's the number one reason why course creators give up, because they don't get enough traffic or enough sales coming through their site and they give up. So the key thing here is marketing. You have to market your own site. So we decided to do quite a comprehensive marketing. It's marketing basics, but it's kind of more basics intermediate. And it takes you through a very slow pace, how to market, set up your site with Google Analytics, Search Console, where to look for your niche audience. All these kind of things are in the marketing basics with Zenler course. You want to jump in there after you've got your site and your course or your offer in. Okay. So next we have another live Sunday workshop. This was done in 21, so it's 20 to 21. And this again backs up this. This is the most recent one, but this one has other content in there that also works along with themes. Because what I was doing with these Sunday workshops was I was taking it from right from the start, right the way through. And we did the same with 22 and 21. Next, we run into challenges here. So Manmeet here ran a 3-day lead to client challenge. So on storytelling, so that whole challenge is in there for you guys to watch the replays of. Okay, it was run live. Next, we've got Kevin's amazing Launch Your First Course Bootcamp, very, very popular. And this is a really good one as well. So it's all about launching your course, and it's a boot camp on there from Kevin. Hugely popular. He's run, I think it's 3 or 4 of these so far. So next we've got the 3-day email challenge. So this is just how to send out emails. And I know for a fact that Kevin's going to do another version of that, which is going to be a little bit more advanced. This is like stepping you into it. So if you want to go into Kevin's, take this one first, because it's lighter. And then when you go into Kevin, he'll start showing you how to multi-link and use blog posts and all these sort of things. So it's going to be pretty exciting stuff. You'll notice how we as support, we try and dovetail together so that everything kind of flows through, especially with our challenges. So Kevin heads up all of the challenges. He overviews all of the challenges and checks everything and makes sure that they're all consistent. I run more the design, social, video side of things. So here we go. We have now how to run a successful challenge. So this is a successful summit. So this is pre-registration. It's not open yet. We will be revamping it probably, but you can actually sign up for that now. We're not going to give you an ETA when it's going to come out, but it's there for you. So down here, we have the Create Your First challenge. So this is really good. This is quite recent as well. Kevin ran this, and this is a really good one to have a look in. I was talking about networking, and that brings us nicely onto Zen Chat. So Zen Chat, Zenler networking. You can go in there. Next, we have Zen Zone. Manmeet's going to talk more about that. But when she does, remember, you just click that link, go through. And Liz and Manmeet run that. So Liz is set this up, and Manmeet and Liz run both of these things. Next, we've got the 5-day blogging challenge. Again, this is super to do. I did this the first time it went round, and Kevin's run it a few times. Really good, and he changes it each time, so it's pretty cool. So he's turned these into evergreen boot camps, live boot camp there and an evergreen boot camp there. So these are really cool. Like I said, you can jump around and go to different areas. So if you want to go to networking, click the Zenler networking, and you'll see that the Zen Chat will come up. If you want to do any of the challenges, you can click challenges, all the challenges come up. You want to just learn the Zenler, then all the Zenler ones come up. So really easy to find. So I'm going to go back to the homepage now. So that is our on-demand videos. So if you go into the live challenges, it's basically a reproduction of the live challenges that are on demand. Okay, if you go into there, any live events that are going on, you can click into here. So you can see any days with Zenler, Zen Chat, office hours, Zen Zone. So it tells you about all of those things. We have any of our latest features. So this takes straight to our YouTube channel, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and shows you a playlist of all of our new features that are introduced into the platform. Now, if you have upgraded to Pro or Premium, you definitely want to jump in to this onboarding session here for a paid members onboarding. Only if you're a Pro or Premium member, you can join that, okay? You will be asked. Next, down the bottom, we have extra resources. So we have resources, Zenler comparison, technical support, have your say, our newsletters, Get Social. So from the tutorials.newzenler.com site, you can get to everything. So if I go to in resources, for instance, it's like report a bug to technical team, the change log. So stuff that the team are doing, you see that come up. A lot of it will not make sense to you, but there will be things in there that do make sense because they put everything down there. So there's like code and stuff. Zenler status. So this takes you to a page where it tells you about any of the services that are running. And if there are any problems, you can see there's a partial system outage on Vimeo. Lucky I'm running a live, so I haven't got a problem. So that's how you can find out. So if something's going wrong, check the status page on tutorials.zenler.com. You can also submit your site to the showcase. So our showcase is a showcase of all sites that have been created using Zenler. And you can search by category in here as well. So if you want to go to who's doing life coaches, can I get some inspiration? You can go in there, you can visit the site and you can see there. You can also submit your site if you think, oh, I want my site on there. And it's a good idea because you get a backlink. So that's going to help you in the search results. You can submit your site there. So this is another very handy feature to have. We have the paid price comparison that compares the free, pro and premium little tick box to show you what you get, what you don't get with each plan. Competitor matrix, we go up against Teachable, Thinkific, Kajabi, Podia. And inside there, you're going to see what we give and what they give. And you can actually see the differences. Definitely worth checking out. We've got new Zenler feature requests. So if you want to go to our feature requests, which is on our Facebook page, you can click directly in there. So this is a really good place to get quick links to go to everything, because people are always asking, where's the change log? Where's the feature? You know, and they're all there. They just need to go down to the resources. Zenler comparison will take you to the comparison. You can go straight to technical support there. So it will take you to technical support. You can also have your say about the platform there. Our newsletters, so it'll give you newsletters that needs to be updated, and also social. So that is our tutorials.newzenler.com site. We're going to move straight onto our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Zenler. Inside here, you need to subscribe, hit the bell icon, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon on our YouTube channel. Why? Any new feature that comes out gets put on here first. So you're notified like that. Bing, you know it's there. You can see what's come out. We just released the calendar. When something else comes out, it'll drop into there. So new features are right at the top. So you can see the latest stuff that's going on with the Zenler platform. We also have really handy things like Zen pop-ups. These are streamed directly into the Facebook group, and you can go in there and you can just see really good stuff like having fun editing on Camtasia, using OBS like we do for Zenler. Common issues, 10 top common issues, focusing on one-to-one coaching, you know, all these really cool things. Day with Zenler, which you're on now, goes in here. So last month we had the whole team on there, apart from me. I was away, and they were running a full day with Zenler. So kudos to them for doing that. We got pro interviews. So Kevin does some pro interviews with people on here as well. And we have these. So we have these areas. These are all playlists. Ask Zenlers, Zenler Facebook help, Zenler quick tutorials, marketing funnels, community help, quick help videos for community. And remember that you can search inside our channel using the search function there. So next we're going to move on to support docs. So this is support.newzenler.com. And if you go here, these are articles. Normally we've put videos in there as well, and we will be adding to this a lot. We're really working hard on this. You also see that we've revamped it a little bit and made it a bit cooler. So inside here are all our kind of support article docs. You can also search for these and you can see how they all work. So inside here, you can go and click through to any of these things, drip schedule, and you can go through and you can read about that. Again, you can search up the top. So you can see that sometimes there's a video in there as well. And then the article is written down there step by step for you to go through. If there's any extra videos that we've done, we normally put them down the bottom. So you've got videos embedded into those as well. And we will be adding to this. We will be making it pretty big, concentrating on each section of the site. So next I want to move on to if you didn't know. Okay, so if you didn't know, we had a Twitter. We have a Twitter account. We also have an Instagram account. And recently, less than 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half, we now have a TikTok channel. So this is the first time, this is a special announcement about the TikTok channel because nobody knows about it. Okay, so TikTok's a really good platform. And if you guys want me to, I can do a video on how to do all this stuff. So just let me know, put yes in there. Yes, yeah, put yes to TikTok. I want to know more. put that into the comments, and then maybe I'll do a Zen pop-up on how we can run TikTok. Now, we just started it. I've not used TikTok before, so I had to do a bit of learning on it. Luckily, there's a lot of young people that have told me things about it, which is really good. So it's quite powerful, and it's also a way of being able to post things really quickly, fun things. Like if you're out and about, you can, at the beach, you can just do a quick TikTok, post it up there. So it was a really good way of doing quick 1 minute, 30-second, 1 minute, 3-minute videos, and you can quickly post it to social media. So I'm going to show you our Twitter channel. This is twitter.com/Zenler HQ. Okay. And inside here, you're going to see all of the posts that we're doing. And we're starting to revamp this. We're starting to really push this up. So I'll put that into the chat. Next, we've got our Instagram channel. So this is going to be changed as well. At the moment, we're changing these to like a square format. Going to see down here, we were running this quite a while, and we kept it in the background because we had so many videos. What we wanted to do was we wanted to get it all up to date and then release it to you guys so you could see it. So we have an Instagram channel. Again, any lives that we're going to do, we're going to start to post that. So we're going to post it on the day or the day before. It's going to post on Twitter. It's going to post on Instagram. It's going to post on TikTok. It's going to go out. It's going to go out into events, into Facebook. It means that you will not miss it. We have had people in the Facebook group go, I missed that. I didn't know about it. There's no excuse now. There's no excuse. We've got you covered. As long as you're hooked up to one of those social platforms, you're going to get a ping notification that something's going ahead. So no excuses. I don't want to see in the Facebook group anymore, I didn't know anything about this. It's everywhere. Stuff's everywhere. So you want to go to our Instagram channel. I'm going to quickly jump into the TikTok channel. And I think you guys will find this quite funny. This is, it is kind of light. They're more about video at the moment, marketing, but we're going to start once we've done a few of these. At the moment, I'm running marketing tips, 10 days of marketing tips. So they come out each day, but we're also going to be running, lots of different things in there, and we're having real fun with it. So it's more of a fun channel. So we're playing around and creating some cool looking things. And, from day one, even though we haven't told you guys about it, we have 22 followers on there, and we have about 7,000 views on the videos. That's in a week and a half. So think about using TikTok. Check out the channel, see what I'm doing, because you might better do the same for your business as well. Okay, some really cool things. Yesterday, the day before, it's me and my wife's anniversary, and I've got a video of her there, and she decided to open the champagne. I was like, oh no, don't. And anyway, she opened the wire, and she opened it, put it on the table, and I was videoing her because a friend bought us the champagne. So I was videoing her. And when I was looking through the camera, I could see the cork going up. I tried to warn her, but it went flying up like a gun. It's like bang. And just so you can see her hair doing this as it goes up, you can see her hair moving. So what did I do? I posted it onto our TikTok channel with her permission, of course. So definitely check that out if you want a bit of a laugh. There's some funny things going on inside the channel. So definitely drop in there just to have a laugh, and follow us. Follow us on our channel there, TikTok channel. I'll put all of those in the chat. It's coming up to 9:30 now, so Manmeet's going to be on in a second. I'm going to put all the links to the social media and the tutorial site. I'm going to drop them into the chat page. Okay, so you guys can see what's going on with those things. So yeah, a bit of fun. Like I said, like all our social media channels, if you're hooked up to any of them, then, and you've got it on your mobile, you're going to get notifications when stuff come in. So we're now ramping to second stage, which is to start to post on our social media live events and live things that are coming. So there's no way that people can miss out of this stuff. We don't want any sort of FOMO though. We want you to not miss out in any way at all. So that is that part of it. So I'm going to post into the group. First of all, I'm going to post in. I've got some people, so I've jumped back to the page. Morning, Pauline Bergier, good to see you. Hananali, Hanalei. Hopefully I pronounced that from South Africa. Hanalei. We've got Francis in, and we've got so Francis is like, yeah, TikTok. So brilliant. So I'm going to put in there the tutorial site. I'm going to post all these links. Please sign up for at least one, not just the Facebook, just sign up for one of the other social platforms, just so that you get informed of things that are coming your way. So important. Hi, Kevin. Nice t-shirt. Yeah, you see, Day with Zenler. So some of the people that have attended on a Day with Zenler, they've received those t-shirts. I can see Manmeet's popped up. 2 seconds, Manmeet. I'm just finishing off the posts. Going to be in a second. So let me just put the support doc in there. And Manmeet's going to be talking about one thing we were talking about earlier, which was the Zen Zone session. So we're super excited to talk about that. And Manmeet and Liz head that up. So that's our YouTube channel going in there. So you have to sign up for one of these. Make that your mission for the day. Accomplish that today. Just sign up for one of the social media platforms and you'll be set. You? Okay, I can carry on posting those. Hello, Manmeet. Good to see you.
Hi, good morning.
Right. Shall I hand over to you? You can talk all about Zen Zone.
Yes. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever part of the world you are watching me from. So as David mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Zen Zone. And before we get to Zen Zone working, I really wanted to pay emphasis on what co-working is. So just give me a moment. I'll share my screen. All right. Yes. So let's dig deep into what virtual co-working is and how does our work routine get more and more productive with virtual co-working. And later, once we understand what virtual co-working is, we would also dig deep into what is Zen Zone co-working and why did we came up with the idea in the first place. What are we going to cover in the session today? In the half an hour slot, I'm going to be covering, like I said, what is co-working? Do we really need it? And then what is Zen Zone co-working? And how do you go about preparing for it? And where do you enroll or register for it? So before we begin, let me share my journey as an entrepreneur, or more specifically as a coach. So when I started my entrepreneurship journey back in 2019, by that time, I really had to start working on my business because I quit my job. But it was a complete lockdown, let alone stepping out and meeting people. We could only go out for barely, getting groceries. If I tell you how much time my first website took, you'd be amazed. It took me almost 3 months to launch my first website, and you would understand the reason when I share it. I was working all by myself. Nobody to review, no critic. Yes, of course, apart from my husband, I had no other critic. Because I was very new to business, every time I took a new project, I would get stuck somewhere. I would have questions as to how do I solve that query. I did have roadblocks as to how to do that particular one aspect for my customers, or how do I solve that particular problem, or how do I deal with customers in the first place. As I said, I was very new to business. And like all of us as budding entrepreneurs, I got stuck at every little point where I needed help. I also enrolled in a lot of programs and had support until the program was live, until I had enrolled in the program, which was very new, until it was live and running. I had the mentor support and I did get my answers. But once the program would get a little old, once the mentors would go on doing other projects, other programs, the support and the mentors would become a little unapproachable, and I understand that. Now, at that point, the only solution I had as an entrepreneur was, if I wanted constant support at that point of time, the only solution I could think of was to join a paid community. And honestly, I did not have the funds to join such a community back then or even now, because such communities who do offer constant support are very expensive in nature, because the kind of value they bring to the table, I understand the cost attached with it. What I am saying is, I wasn't in a position to pay funds for such a community. So it took time, but I figured all on myself. I had to, instead of paying the amount or the funds, I had to give in my time to understand and do it all by myself. Now, when I joined Zenler and I saw the concept of Zen Zone co-working or virtual co-working as an additional support, I really loved it. And here, I'd like to be a little honest with you. I was also very envy in the beginning that why didn't Zenler start this Zen Zone co-working when I was starting out in my business, when I was struggling all by myself, to be honest there. Now, before we go forward and understand what is Zen Zone co-working, let's dive and see that what is virtual co-working, or what is co-working for that matter. Yes, co-working is a concept. Virtual co-working is a concept that is coming up. Now, in general, co-working is a physical space where you own a desk, a table, a cabin, or any small space that you can call your office. Because here the same thing applies, so that you do not have to pay a rent for a bigger space and take all the burden. You pay a very small amount and you occupy a small space which you can call an office and work peacefully with concentration. Similarly, when we come to virtual co-working, here you meet new people, new faces every day. And I would like to add, even in a physical co-working, when you're working together, co-working is working together with different people. So when you do work in a physical co-working as well, you do meet different kind of people on an everyday basis. But you can only meet those people who are in that particular area, location, or maybe for that matter, that country once in a while. But when we, similarly, when we come to virtual co-working, it is a concept where your small space that I just mentioned about becomes your Zoom link, or it becomes your Google Meet platform. In case of Zen Zone co-working, we use Zoom. It becomes your live streaming platform wherein you can see each other's faces. And this time, it is not restricted geographically. The globe is the limit. And as a part of Zenler co-working host, I have built beautiful relationships. I would be sharing a few examples of the Zen Zone regulars that come in. Hannah encourages me to be consistent. Carmen's book writing experience is an additional help for me. And I love Nicole's dancing, strategies that she shares with us, or pictures and the shoes she always has a background. And I'm always amazed by Jim's retirement calculations that he keeps sharing with us. And the list is endless. And trust me, the experience is priceless. All of this I've experienced as a host. You can only imagine how do the members, the fellow educators bond and grow themselves and become more and more productive with their sites. Now we come to the next question, which is, do we really need a co-working space? Now, that's a question which is very subjective to each individual. You can answer for yourself and I can speak for myself. So after you look at this presentation, if you look at whatever I share with you, my own experience, it is your call to decide whether you need a co-working. So for me, like I shared in my story in the starting, I really needed one. And even now, I think I really need a co-working. I'm often a seeker for planning and to-do list. I really like to scribble down the night before that what all do I have to accomplish the next day. I list all my priority tasks at the night and I number them, which is the first one, which is the second one. And whichever I'm not able to complete moves to the second day with an uncompleted task and becomes a priority task in the next day. Now when I am a part of Zen Zone co-working, now I prepare two kinds of lists. One list contains all the kind of social interactions, all the kind of people interaction, the meetings that I have to do in the first half. Zen Zone co-working usually runs in the afternoon or the evening slot. So at that point in time, I keep all of my zoned tasks, the tasks that I need complete concentration and focus at. For example, writing articles or maybe writing content, any sort of focused and zoned task I keep for my later half while I'm hosting the Zen Zone co-working. And I, as a host, have got so much done in Zen Zone co-working. Like I said, you can only imagine how much would have these Zen Zone educators done for themselves. I will also be sharing one example when I share after this. I have completed, writing articles, stories, and also brainstorming new ideas with the Zen Zone educators that join in. Like I was sharing Jim's calculations and Carmen's book writing techniques. I've learned so much as a host. And now I'd like to share an example of one of our regulars. You can see on my screen, Carmen. She's a regular in Zen Zone, and she shares on our community. I love those co-working sessions. I get so much work done during this time. In addition to working on my new Zenler website, I was able to get the third edition of my 2 books completed, Priceless, Thank You, Manmeet and Liz. And she also shares a screenshot while she is in the session. So that's the kind of value that Zen Zone co-working brings on the table. But at the same time, like I said, everybody has an individual experience, and this answer is very subjective to each individual. Now that we've discussed about what is virtual co-working, let's understand what is Zen Zone co-working. All right. Okay, I'll also share about how do we prepare and how do we function. So Zen Zone co-working is a space for entrepreneurs looking to get support and get their tasks done and be more productive with their sites. Now, one important thing to mention here is this is not technical support. We try to support you with, Zenler Insight technical knowledge as much as we know and as much as our knowledge permits. If it gets too technical or if it is something that we don't know about, we will always recommend you to write to support and get the best help where the experts are. But we try to support you as much as possible as our knowledge permits. The only thing that we focus inside these Zen Zone co-working sessions is to be more productive and get the task done faster. Now, like the slide says, how do we prepare and how do we function? It's very, very simple. First of all, there is no huge list of preparation points. Just one. You need to have a tiny goal to achieve during that time. And while you are at it, wherever you are stuck, we are there to you, to listen to you, to help you out, and to suggest you. So that's just one thing. You need to have a goal. And even if you don't have a goal, you can step in, talk to us, and we can together decide a goal for you during that time. Now, how does Zen Zone function? It runs for 4 hours in a single session. We run 2 days, that is Thursdays, 3 p.m. BST to 7 p.m. BST, and then we run on Saturdays, 5 p.m. BST to 9 p.m. BST. You can join us through a common link, that is a Zoom link that all of you would get upon booking the slot. Now, the next question would be that how do you register and hop on a session? So just give me one moment. I'll be sharing my screen and taking you through the tutorial site, which David was just sharing about. Just give me a moment. All right. Here we are. All right. So as David was sharing about the tutorial site, we have Zen Zone on the tutorial site, and here is the URL, which is tutorials.newzenler.com/courses/Zen Zone. So when you get to this page, first here we have a lovely video by Liz. She's sharing that what Zen Zone is and how it can support you. So I definitely recommend you to watch this video. When you scroll further down, you will see that we've mentioned much in detail that how can you get the best help from Zen Zone and how can you get started. The two most important things that you have to look out for, first is the timing. A lot of times what we get as a feedback is that the time gets confusing, because we do understand we have a global audience and the time zone could be an issue. We have faced it ourselves. So to counter that, we have got the time slots right on the homepage. So when you come to the homepage before registering for the session, these are the two slots that we run in, that is Thursday and Saturday. Here is the time that we run in officially, which is the BST time zone that Zen Zone runs in the official time zone. And the second is your time. Now, I'm in India, so it shows that what time is it for me in conversion to the official time of the Zen Zone. For me, it is 7:30 p.m. Similarly, when you get to this page, you will be able to see that what is the conversion for the time zone in your country in relation to the official time zone of Zen Zone. And then you can decide whether you would want to book a Thursday slot, if you would want to book a Saturday slot. We would love if you book both the slots. Also, there is no rush of being there for complete 4 hours. There is no pressure. Like we said, we want you to be more and more productive. You want to attend for 1 hour, we would happily host you. If you would want to be there for 2 hours, again, and even if you would want to stay for entire 4 hours, that's the best case scenario we would love. So no rush, no pressure. It is completely as per your convenience and as per your working schedule. So as the first step is you look at the time and you decide that what is the time you can allocate for Zen Zone and when would you be willing to come and work on your tasks that you've set for Zen Zone co-working. Now, once that is done, the second thing is register for Zen Zone. As soon as you come to this page, you will have an option here to enter your email ID. So I'll just enter my secondary ID. And here again, it shows me this page wherein I can book for Thursday and book for Saturday. While you are on this page, I definitely recommend you to go down and read the reviews the Zen Zone regulars have put in, so that it gives you a little more option to decide that, is this what you're looking for? Is this what you were wanting to do for a long time? So once you come here, you click on book for Thursday. And similarly, here is Saturday. Okay, I think I've booked for Saturday as well. So my spot is booked for Saturday and it's booked for Thursday as well. Now, the best thing, in the best case scenario, we would want you to book the slot is because we do know that, when you book the slot, you do have the intention to come in and maximize your efforts in Zen Zone co-working. But while we get busy with our tasks, while we get busy in our business, it is very human to skip it. So that's why we make sure that you attend Zen Zone co-working. That's why we send you 2 reminders just before the session is about to go live. One email just when the session is about to go live and one email when we go live, so that if you've booked your spot, we immediately remind you that you had set an intention for this, so that you do not skip what you had set your goals for. This is the first thing that I would want to recommend you. Book your slot so that you can be reminded by us that Zen Zone is about to start. The second thing that I would recommend you is, when you go to the new Zenler group that you are a part of, and if you go to the featured section, before we start a Zen Zone, like you see a post here, just before Zen Zone is about to start, 10-15 minutes before that, we always put in a post and a link here for everyone who is aware about Zen Zone, who has heard about Zen Zone in the last couple of days, but they did not get a chance to book their slots or did not get a chance to go through the tutorial site. We do put a link so that you can come experience for yourself and you do not miss the option of attending a Zen Zone co-working. And once you have done this, I definitely at the end recommend you to book your slot, because if you miss booking your slot, the Facebook feed is busy at times and this post could be skipped. So this is for people who have heard it in the last couple of days but did not get an option to book it on the tutorial site. Once you join through this link and you've attended Zen Zone, you've seen the magic it does, definitely go back and book your slot so that you do not miss it in the future. I have one more resource for you. The last question that I wanted to share with you is that how do you decide if Zen Zone co-working is for you and whether you would want to go for it? So last month, Day with Zenler, we did a session with all our Zen Zone regulars. I'll share the link of this video. When you scroll down and see, that's the I recommend you to watch the entire second half session, because we had enormous value coming in from everybody who was in the second half. But especially taking a little bias, I would want you to go to this time slot wherein Liz and me are talking about the Zen Zone experience. We had all the Zen Zone regular here. We had all the Zen Zone regulars here who have been joining Zen Zone regularly from the time we've started. Initially, we were running 3-hour slots. They used to stay for 3 hours. Then we started 4-hour slots, and now they stay for complete 4 hours. So go watch that video for 1 hour. You will see a conversation brewing between friends, just like, sitting in a cafe. That's what we've built as a part of Zenler co-working and the kind of work we have done while we've been running this virtual co-working sessions. And very soon, I would have my partner, Liz, coming in and joining me on this slot, because I think Zen Zone co-working would be incomplete without Liz. So I would just be waiting for her to join in, and she would also like to share her experience as a host and how Zen Zone co-working has benefited her, and what is the kind of magical experiences she has seen while interacting with all these Zenler educators. So I think she's going to pop in just in a few minutes.
Yeah, Liz is coming on at 10 o'clock to do 1 hour's meditation. So I don't know if she knows to come in a bit earlier.
Yes, she does.
Oh, she does.
To her. Yeah,
where is
she's
she?
right here.
Oh, there she is. Okay, you got it sorted. Good. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me.
Oh, I just decided it because while I was preparing my content, I thought that I couldn't do it without Liz. This is Zen Zone co-working is as much as Liz, as much as mine. So I thought I'll quickly message her up. And while I was doing the presentation, Liz confirmed. So I was like, yes, we are doing it. It was very last moment.
Right, she'll be popping on in a second, I think. There we go. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, so good, thank you. And you?
I'm good too. I was just talking about virtual co-working and then Zen Zone co-working. And like I was sharing with David that, Zen Zone co-working slot would be very incomplete if I did not have you in it. So I have, been sharing for the past 20 minutes. I've been sharing that what is the kind of experience Zen Zone has had on me, the kind of relationships I've built, the learning that I've taken home from it as an host. And what is that, the Zen Zone educators, Zenler educators have been experiencing. I've been sharing all of that in the past 20 minutes. We would really want your take as a host and also as an attendee that, what is your experience as a part of Zen Zone virtual co-working?
Okay, awesome. Yes, and thank you for doing the slot so far. It's amazing. So for me, Zen Zone as an education support person in there, it's beautiful to be able to support all of the wonderful people that come into that place. And we get to kind of hold them and support them to help guide them perhaps to the next stage, just to give them feedback on what they're doing. And it's so lovely because you can work like one-on-one with people, depending on the size of the group. Obviously, as it's growing, the one-on-one time is going to be smaller. But then we're all there as a group, as a collective, to be able to support. So you can really get that sort of instant feedback on things. So if you're working on, for example, like a challenge, something like that, and you're doing, your front page, it's awesome to be able to get that initial feedback from people that may be your kind of potential clients. It's that kind of audience. So you can get that feedback straight away, and they're like, oh, well, I can't really quite read that text, and it's stuff like that. It can be quite detailed, but within that lovely supportive space, because we're all in the same boat. We're all part of, the Zenler users, the Zenler education team, and we're there to support each other. And for us as educators, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Manmeet, it's so nice to be able to give that support. The Facebook group is beautiful, and obviously we can do like little bits of support in there. We do like these things like the day with Zenler, but to actually be able to connect with you, the same as in like the Zen chat, it's so nice to be able to see you, to speak, and actually put a person to, that little emoji or, little picture that you get in the Facebook group.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah, so I think it's support. And I think for the people that have been in the sessions, they appreciate that support, because you can feel very lonely working, in your little home office. So my desk is in the corner of our sitting room. I've just thrown everyone out of here again now so I can be live. But it can be quite lonesome because it's just you and it's your screen. And I think having those regular sessions, it first of all helps people actually do some work on their own bit of work rather than just serving clients all the time, which can be easy to do. But when we're working on the new Zenler stuff as well, you're working on your site, you're working on your course, you're working on your challenge, your webinar, whatever it is you're working on, then, it gives you that space and time to actually do that for yourself, which then is for your business, which then ultimately is for your clients as well. So it's that space, that time, that support, and giving clarity, because I think it's easy to become overwhelmed. And especially if you perhaps are beginning right at the start with your new Zenler work, there's such a lot of information that we have for you, such a huge amount of resources and support, that sometimes just someone to say, do you know what? Just do this one next thing, just this one first step, and then it gets you going, and then you build the momentum. And then if you keep popping back into the Zen Zone sessions, you keep having our support, and there's definitely a big community feeling within our regulars that are there, and obviously some of the new people are feeling that right from the beginning.
Yes.
So I think, it's such an awesome thing. I love being part of it.
That's absolutely true. I think I would very much agree with you what you said, that a lot of times people are not really able to bring out time for their own sites. Like they're always working for that client. So this is also a time wherein you dedicate for yourself and you tell yourself that, this is to be done for my own self, and this is the time I need for my own self. So that's also one added advantage of a Zen Zone co-working that we've seen that people have achieved. I really wanted to, this is a question. I was, when I joined in and I saw, like I shared in the presentation also, there was a little bit that, why didn't Zenler have, and I was struggling when I was working all on my own. So did you also get this feeling that, why didn't you get such an opportunity?
Yeah, and it's quite funny because I've been part of loads of different, sort of leadership stuff and community stuff, over the time. And there were spaces like this, but they were different. And I love how we've created ours, because you get to bring what you want to bring. So it's completely personal to you. You bring whatever your work is. You have your personal goal, and that's what you're working on. So there's no, we're not boxing you in any way. It's like break all those boxes away and do what is best for you. And I think that's what I love the most about it, is that there is the support. There's that sense of being part of a team without having to actually be there in a team. I love that it's international. I mean, if you look at the distance in miles between where we are right now, and right now we are both speaking live, supporting people who are also international. And
yes,
it's amazing. And I think to have that virtual co-working, it's a bright side of what's happened over the last bit of time, is that we've really gone deeper into what can we do? How can we support you? What are the extra things we can give you to make your life as easy and effortless as possible? Because after all, that's what New Zenler is about, is making it easy for you. So, our spaces get to support you in whatever unique, part of your New Zenler journey you're in. So, I would have loved it when I first started. And I love how free it is. And also it's free. This is fabulous support. I know there's many different areas. You can pay a lot of money for that kind of group co-working environment and that kind of resource. So absolutely enjoy it, use it, and yeah, just get the best of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And with that, both of us would really recommend you to book your slots Thursday, 3 p.m. BST and Saturday, 5 p.m. BST. So both of us would be looking forward to host you in the session tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to see you.
Fantastic. So thank you. So it's all about Zen Zone. So, you definitely want to get involved in that because like Liz and Manmeet were saying, we didn't really have that before. So now you've got a place that you can all sort of come together. I remember also now off of that, we've also got Zen Chat as well, which is like the networking, which is there for you again to get together, talk about ideas, network together and share the niche. So if you use both Zen Zone and Zen Chat, it can be really powerful. Remember, you pay a lot of money to join these networking clubs or these special places where people meet up. It all costs you money. We just give it to you for free. And you get one of the educators in there. So if you have a problem, do get stuck, they can help you. They can help you straight away and you're not paying them a penny. Again, it's a really good thing. So thank you, Mammy and Liz, for that. Liz is staying around because, like, have you seen my background? Have you seen the background? It's Zen State. So Liz has graciously said that she's going to do a meditation hour with us. So this is really good. So, it is Zenler. So we do like to be in a Zen state. We're not always in a Zen state, especially me. You can lose it sometimes. So it's good to reset. It's good to reset. So it's great that because this is the day with Zenler and we have people doing loads of different things, but it's even better this time because we got Liz, we've got our own product educator doing the session. So Liz is very much all into this and she does all this for her outside of Zenler work. So it's, and we're also little surprise here. Only if you put hashtag Liz is the best, right? You might receive an audio of this for your meditation at home to put on your phone or whatever. So if ever you get stressed, you can listen to that and chill out. So Liz has kindly given permission that we can produce the audio and give it to you guys. Only if you put hashtag Liz is the best, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to get it. I'm not going to send it to you.
Liz is the best. I'm waiting.
Liz is the best. Right.
Good luck. I'm looking forward to the meditation.
Okay, right. I'm handing over. Liz, take it away. See you soon.
Oh, thank you so much. Amazing. And David, I don't know if you're able to share the background, but I have failed to upload it. So.
Oh, don't worry. Just continue.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. And now is a space for you to really, really relax. And I'm gonna have a quick speak just about what meditation means to me. And when you hear the word meditation, whatever it means to you is absolutely perfect. So how you feel with the term meditation is the perfect way for you to feel about it right now, here in this moment. And for me, meditation is all about connecting with yourself. It's finding that calm space, that Zen space to just pause, to find your calm, to really, really relax. And in that space, when you're really relaxed and you're calm, you can begin to release and let go of anything else that's going on for you or going on in your mind in that moment. So meditation has been hugely, hugely beneficial for myself, for my family, my clients, my colleagues. It's such a beautiful way to start that inner self connection. And if you are already working on your own, like personal development, your own inner self connection, your own calm, your own Zen, then you can just go a bit deeper with it. So I'm going to do a number of different exercises, like some different meditations with you throughout the session. And the very first one that I'd like to begin with is Hakalau. And it's really, really simple. And it puts you into like a really light trance state. So if, for example, you may have had those moments where you've driven home or perhaps you've walked home and you've got there and you've got no recollection of how you actually got there, of what that journey home has been. And at that point, you will have been in Hakalau. So you will have been in this kind of almost like a really light trance state. And the state is amazing because it's opening up your peripheral vision. So what it means is that if you are looking, say, straight ahead of you at just a little point in front of you, so it could be on the screen, and if you just take a moment to just focus on that point, and then if you slowly bring your two hands up either side of your head, and you'll notice that you can actually see them. So that's peripheral vision. And you're in that state when you're driving. And depending on what your route home may be, you may also find yourself in that state sometimes when you're walking as well, if it's a route that you've done a lot of times. And so you're perfectly aware of everything around you, which is beautiful, especially if you're driving, because you know if there's a dog just the other side of the road, and you know if there's someone just going to cross the road over there. You've got no specific awareness. You're not consciously looking at each of those things because you're looking ahead at the road, or in this moment, you're looking ahead at that little spot on your screen, but you're absolutely aware of everything else here. And this is a light trance state. It's a really quick way to get yourself into that meditative state, into a calm peacefulness. And it's also actually a beautiful state for learning in. It's like the perfect learning state because your unconscious mind, your inner self, however you want to describe it, is completely open at this point, and it's absorbing everything. It's taking everything in for you really easily and effortlessly. So you could choose to stay in this state throughout the session, and perhaps throughout the day with Zenler. So you really are getting to absorb all of this amazing information and support as you go through the session. Or you can choose to come out of it. And you can do that just by gently moving your gaze elsewhere. And you may notice that you're still holding in that peripheral vision, and you can check it by just putting your hands up either side of your head and just check to see if you're still in it. And you may end up choosing to actually be in that state quite a lot of the time. And it's a very useful state. It's a very calm and peaceful state. And I do find myself in it quite a lot. So let me know how you get along with that. And if you've heard of it before, if you've already tried that. So that's the very first simple, calming, meditative state to get you into. And the second one, so it's going to take just a few seconds, the second one. And it's a really simple and easy breathing meditation technique. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for the count of 1, and we're going to breathe out for the count of 2. And as you're doing it, you're just going to say silently to yourself, breathe in for the count of 1, breathe out for the count of 1, breathe out for the count of 2. And again, it's a really gentle way to get you calm, to bring you into that beautiful meditative state. So these are both exercises you can do before longer meditations, or you can use them by themselves. If you only have a few seconds to just get calm, clear, relaxed, these are 2 beautiful techniques for that. Okay, so with the 3-second reset, as I call it, we're going to breathe in for that count of 1, breathe in for the count of 1, and then breathe out for the count of 1, breathe out for the count of 2. So a breath in and a breath out. And also as we are breathing in for the count of 1, but then we're breathing out for the count of 2. With that elongated out breath, you're naturally, easily relaxing yourself. You're slowing down your breathing. You're slowing down your heart rate just a little, just to be calmer, more peaceful, more relaxed. And if you repeat that 3-second reset just 2 times, then you've actually done 6 seconds. And you can do a really good interrupt on an emotion in just 6 seconds. So it's a lovely technique to practice. And then should you find yourself starting to move into an unwanted negative emotion, you may start to feel some old anxiety or some old frustration, anything like that building up, just draw on that 3-second reset, repeat that 2 times, and obviously longer if you choose to do so. And in doing that, you're just going to interrupt any emotions which are beginning to come up for you. And that can be really helpful if you're perhaps doing a live presentation, you're perhaps, one-to-one with a client, and something begins to come up. You can just really easily and effortlessly just do that tiny 3-second reset of breathing. Breathe in for the count of 1. Breathe out for the count of 1. Breathe out for the count of 2. And so it's just giving you that beautiful meditative state, again, so easily and effortlessly. And I definitely suggest that you have a go with both of those, see which one you prefer, or perhaps it's both, and start to practice them on a daily basis. They take just a few moments each. And if you start to do that, you can then draw on those. Should you feel a need in the future, and they're there for you, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And then actually you'll find that your mind will naturally take you there. Because the way that our unconscious mind works is it flows like water. It goes as easily and effortlessly as it possibly can. So the more practices we do, the more relaxation, muscle we build up, the more we build up our calmness inside, then the easier it becomes to actually stay in that calm state for longer. And also when things come up that could perhaps topple that calm state, you've got something easy to draw on. And people don't even know that you're doing that, because breathing is obviously really, really natural. We're all doing it all the time. And with the Hakala, it's very easy to just be looking at a space and people won't necessarily notice it. And as you've got into that peripheral vision, as you've practiced it, you can then move from just looking directly ahead, and you'll find you can actually move about and do your usual activities throughout the day and choose to go into that state as and when you want to, without actually having to stare at the spot ahead of you. You can just choose, I'm going to go into that Hakala, I'm going to go into that perfect learning state, and you can just take yourself there kind of instantly once you've practiced it. Okay, so with meditation, as I said, there are so many different ways that you can draw on it. And you can do meditation with movement. So you can be meditating whilst you're walking, and the rhythm of the walking can also help you to just get into that gentle, meditative, calm state really easily as well. You can also do a guided meditation, which is obviously what I'm going to be walking you through today as I'm going to be speaking to you. You can have a guided meditation with music. You can also have meditation where you perhaps set a question at the beginning. So perhaps something that you want to have more insight on. So you can just set a question at the beginning and then just take the time to just be calm and quiet, either with music, with a guided meditation, or just in silence. And the silence you can build up. So you could begin with perhaps just a moment of silence. So if we now just get really comfortable, and if it's safe to do so, then you can close your eyes And if you're driving, come back to this part at another time. And you can just close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so and it's safe. And just ask yourself this question. How do I feel right now, here in this moment? And just notice what comes up for you. And it may be a feeling, it may be a sound, it may be a picture, it could even be a taste or a smell, or just some kind of physical feeling. And for me in that moment, peace came up. So I'm feeling peace. And just by having those tiny moments where you set yourself a really small question, and you can just give yourself a couple of moments of silence, and that can even start at like a second. It can start really, really tiny, and you can build that up to give yourself longer in that calmness, just with yourself, with whatever comes to mind for you. And also, if anything else comes up for you in those moments, you can just release it and let it go. And again, that can take practice. But if you begin to do these exercises, any of them that resonate with you, that feel good for you to have a try of, you're going to be building up your resources. Okay. Now, the next one that I'd like to share is a body scan. So with meditation, you can use it to support you throughout all aspects of your life. So for me, it's about building that deep inner connection with you, with your you-ness, with your inner self, your intuition, your gut, your heart, your mind, your unconscious mind, your soul, however you want to describe it is absolutely perfect. And sort of as you, as an individual, there are so many different aspects of you. And you have like your emotional, your mental, your physical, and perhaps, if appropriate for you, spiritual. And again, spirituality means whatever it means to you here in this moment. And that can change over time. And it absolutely does not have to be related to religion. It can just be a belief in anything. Just that deep, for me, it's that deep sense of calm, that deep place of relaxation where you can really draw on that energy. So for me, I term it as like a love light energy, just love. For me, love is above anything and everything comes from there, but it's whatever it means to you. So whatever your definition of spirituality is, then that is absolutely perfect. So you have that aspect of yourself as well. And you may not. It may be an area that you don't choose to have right now, that you may in the future. So the meditation can bring you into each of these areas and can support you with each of these areas, with your development, with your calmness, with your resilience. And again, we're in the new Zenler space, and each of these things, when you have that calmness, you have that peace, you have that relaxation, it can open up your creativity to create, to design, to move forwards, whatever work you're working on, whatever client you're supporting, whatever your next step is, whatever your next goal is, your next part of your mission, your next part of your vision, whatever it is, coming from that space of calm can be really, really supportive. And especially if you're working with colleagues or you're reaching out to different clients and you know that there may be, a little resistance within your communication with them, to be able to center yourself, to ground yourself in calm and peace and that lovely meditative state can be really supportive. So the next meditative exercise that we're going to do is the body scan. And again, if you are able to, close your eyes, and you can either sit down or you can lie down even for this one. So if that's appropriate for you in this moment, you can lie down, you can close your eyes, get yourself super, super comfortable. Okay, lovely. And then you're going to just focus on your breath. Focus on the natural rhythm of your breath. And notice that life-giving breath flow into your body. Circulate throughout your body and then flow out as you exhale. And on your next breath in, breathe in love. And on your next breath out, breathe out everything else. And breathe in love. And breathe out everything else. And bring your awareness to the top of your head. And just notice how it feels. And then tense it and release. And bring your awareness now to your face. And notice how it feels. And tense it and release. And bring your awareness to the back of your head. And notice how it feels. Then tense it and release. And bring your awareness to your neck and your throat. And notice how they feel. Then tense them and release. And bring your awareness to your shoulders. And notice how they feel. Then tense them and release. And bring your awareness to your arms. And notice how they feel. Tense them and release. And should any other thoughts come to mind, just acknowledge them and let them go. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. And then follow back into the scan when you are able. And bring your awareness now to your hands and your fingers and thumbs. Notice how they feel. Tense them and let them go. And bring your awareness now to your wrists and notice how they feel. Tense them and let them go. And bring your awareness now to your back and your spine. Notice how they feel. Tense them and release. Let all that old tension go. And bring your awareness to your upper body, to your chest. Notice how they feel. Tense and release. Just let all that old tension, any old stress, flow freely away and let it go. And bring your awareness to your stomach and your hips. Tense them and release. And notice how they feel as they release any old tension, stresses or strains. And bring your awareness to your pelvis. Notice how it feels. Tense and release. And let it go. Let any old stresses and strains, any old worries or old anxiety flow freely from your body. And bring your awareness to your buttocks and your thighs and your upper leg. Notice how they feel. Tense and release. And let them go and flow freely. And bring your awareness to your knees. Notice how they feel. Tense and release them. Let go of any old frustrations, any old fear. Just let it all go. And bring your awareness now to your lower legs. Notice how they feel. Tense them and release. Let them go. Let all old negative emotions flow freely away. Let them all go. And bring your awareness now to your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Notice how they feel. Tense them and release. Let them go. And now bring your awareness to your whole body. Notice how it feels. Tense and release. And let go of any remaining fragments of old stress, old negativity, old frustration, any old anxiety, old fears, old worries. Just let them all go. Let them all flow freely down through your crown, down through your face and head and neck, down through your shoulders, through your arms, your hands, your fingers, down through your chest, your upper body, down through your spine, down through your hips, your pelvis, down through your legs, down through your feet and toes and out through the soles of your feet. Just let it all flow freely and easily and effortlessly. Let it all flow out through your body and down and out through the soles of your feet. And then slowly bring your awareness back to your breathing, back to the natural rhythm of your breathing. And on your next breath in, breathe in love. Love for you and your beautiful body exactly as it is right here in this moment. And on your next breath out, breathe out love. And then slowly, very slowly, and in your own time, gently sway your body, just move it. Bring your awareness back to your physical body, your head, your face, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, and your fingers, your chest, your hips, your legs, your feet, and your toes. And then slowly, in your own time, you can open your eyes and come back into the room. Amazing. So that's the body scan. And I spent a little while going through each of the parts of the body for you. But you can practice that and you can make it shorter. So you can just bring your awareness to each part of your body, tense it, relax. And as you practice, you can actually complete that activity, within, again, just a few minutes, can even be within like a minute. And you can also do like a beautiful kind of laser body scan where you just close your eyes and you just very carefully, gently, just bring your awareness to your head and your face and your neck, to your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, your upper body, your chest, your back, your whole spine, your hips, your pelvis, your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs, your feet and your toes. And just notice if you feel anything, if you feel any stress, any strains, any tension. And then you can just do a whole body tense and release. So you can enjoy that longer guided body scan, or you can do a mini version. And again, you can do that quickly, just no one will know you're doing it. You can even keep your eyes open. It's not appropriate to close them. So it's another really useful thing, a really useful resource to draw on. And it's also a lovely one for noticing if you've got like a little bit of tension building up somewhere in your body, and then you can deal with it while it's small, rather than when we get caught up in the busyness of life, in the busyness of what we're doing, and we don't notice how we're feeling. We don't notice how our body is feeling until something big happens. And then we're like, oh my goodness. And then you have, a lot of tension in your back or your shoulders, and it's going to take longer to work through. So if you adopt that body scan, and you could do it once a day, you could even just do it once a week, even just once a month. If at the moment you're not really checking in with your physical body and how you're feeling, just adding it in once a month would be like a step forwards. And it's just bringing your awareness to each of those parts of your body, tensing it and releasing, and just noticing what you feel. And obviously, if something comes up for you, go and seek support. So seek it from your doctor, from your, health professional, whoever it is, and do get support with it, because our bodies are amazing. Your body is amazing exactly as it is. And just by giving it the respect and those few moments to just check in with it, or again, enjoy that longer body scan meditation, it can really support you moving forwards. Okay. So the other meditation, if I have time, I'm going to do two. And if not, I'll do another one another time. But the first one that we're going to do is a relax and release one. So we're going to go back into that beautiful, calm, meditative state. And we're going to go a bit deeper into just releasing any old frustrations or any old worries, anything like that may be going on for you right now. And again, this is a lovely meditation to do before you start a piece of work, just to get you into a really nice, relaxed and kind of clear state of mind. Or even you could use it before going to bed. So it could become part of that evening routine, just to really just let go of everything and just find that nice, peaceful, relaxing space so that you can have a beautiful sleep. Okay, so again, get yourself super comfortable. And also, if you complete any of these meditation activities, or if you indeed stick with me through the whole hour and complete them, absolutely make sure that you're drinking plenty of fluids. So water is definitely the best because it's going to help flush out any toxins, anything like that. And any meditation, any time you take self-reflecting, just connecting in with yourself, finding peace, just letting go of any old emotions, can naturally bring up detoxing. So be gentle with yourself. You may find that you are a little more sleepy. So be gentle with yourself and give yourself rest. It's your body asking for rest. Please listen to it. And again, with the fluids, just make sure that you're keeping yourself hydrated. It's going to support your body to process whatever your body is processing, be it physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. Everything works through our bodies. We are obviously very natural creatures. So support yourself and be gentle with yourself. And if anything comes up, then do feel free to reach out, within the group or anything like that. And I will support as best as I can. Okay, but yeah, definitely keep hydrated. Okay, so get yourself super, super comfortable. And you may choose to be sitting up. You may choose to be lying down. And if you choose to do so, just close your eyes and bring your awareness to the rhythm of your heart beating. And if you choose to do so, place your hands over your heart. And notice that beautiful rhythm. That life-giving drum beating for you, especially for you. And notice above your head a beautiful white light shining, and it's flowing down over your body. It's flowing down, surrounding you in a beautiful, warm, loving light. And as you feel it flowing down over your body, through your body, just relax your hands, your arms, let them fall freely down to your sides, and relax your whole body. Deeply, deeply relax. And with every sound that you hear, every soft word spoken, you relax deeper and deeper. Into beautiful, soft, sweet relaxation. And as you feel that warm glow of that white light flowing down over your body, you feel a deep sense of peace and calm. A wonderful flow of relaxation sweeps gently over your body. And as it flows down over the top of your head and softly, gently sweeps down over your whole body, all the way down to your toes. Your heart fills with that beautiful, calm relaxation. And you're feeling as relaxed as you've ever felt. Total and utter relaxation. And you notice you feel a little lighter as any old stresses or strains are washed away with this beautiful white relaxing light. It's washing away any old negativity, any old tension, all flows freely through you and down and out through the soles of your feet. And with each breath that you take, you fall deeper and deeper into a warm, loving relaxation. You're feeling completely calm. And you can let go of anything at all that's no longer serving you, it's no longer supportive. Just let it all go now. And you notice that you can hear the sound of softly flowing water. And you turn your head in the direction of that sound. And gently you start to move towards it. And you notice just ahead of you is a tiny stream. And you move closer to it. And as you reach its edge, you sit down next to it and watch the water flow. is flowing freely and easily. And as you watch it flowing, just place into it any old remaining worries, any old remaining concerns, any old stresses, any old overwhelm, any old procrastination. Anything you're not sure of, just drop it down into the water and watch that beautiful stream carry it away, leaving you lighter and brighter, more relaxed. Your emotions flow freely in this space, following the path, that beautiful natural flowing water. And as it flows, you feel that flow of relaxation sweeping through your body, through every single particle of you, filling you up with relaxation and peace and calm. As any old negativity, any old resistance flows freely from you and is gently carried away. That beautiful stream. And you know that this is your stream. It's here for you. And at any moment, should you choose to come back to this calm, releasing space, you can do so. And now reach really deep inside yourself for any tiny, old remaining negative thoughts or negative emotions. Anything at all that's no longer supporting you. It's no longer supporting where you're moving towards. It's no longer supporting your current goals. It's no longer supporting who you want to be. It's no longer supporting who you get to be. And just drop it down now into the stream. And let that gentle current carry it away. Let it all go. Let it all flow freely away from you. Let that stream carry it all away now, just for you. And as you release everything, no longer supporting, no longer serving you, you feel such a sense of relief. Deeper, deeper calm and beautiful, all-encompassing relaxation. And when you've let go of every old negativity, every old negative thought, and every old negative emotion, once you've released it all, poured it all into that beautiful stream and watched it be carried away, thank the stream for supporting you. And thank yourself for letting go. And set the intention now to let go of all that no longer supports you. Each and every day. And you can return to this beautiful stream to do so. Or you can complete that letting go however is best for you. And by just setting the intention here and now, know that it is done. And with a final look across that beautiful stream, that relaxing, releasing stream with its wonderful flowing, pure natural water, with that gentle rhythm of life and flow and freedom. Slowly stand up and begin to walk back to where you began, to where you very first noticed the sound of that running water. And when you're there, slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your natural breathing. And breathe in love and breathe out everything else. Breathe in love and breathe out love. And slowly bring your awareness back to your physical body. Move your head and your face and your neck. Move your shoulders and your back. Move your arms and your hands and your fingers. Move your hips and your pelvis and your legs, your ankles, your feet and your toes. And then slowly and gently, when you're ready, in your own time, open your eyes and come back into the room.
Wow, that was lovely. Nice and calming. I couldn't watch all of it because I thought I might just get too relaxed and not be able to continue the show.
Yeah, it's the thing of doing it earlier in the morning, isn't it? You still got to keep going.
That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Liz, for that. Like we said, all people that put hashtag Liz is the best in there will get the audio track that we'll output. So give us a day or two just to process the video. Probably put some sound track behind it as well. So then you can use that, because you went through three meditation techniques?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, and a couple of little tiny mini ones as well. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 in total.
Yeah, so we'll split it out to 5 tracks that you can pick up. So yeah, we'll sort that out at the end. Thank you, Liz. I know we've got Kevin in now. Fabulous. Thank you, Liz.
See you later.
Hello, Kevin.
Morning, David. How are you?
All's good. I'm putting the link into the thing you're going to talk about on the couch. So Kevin has now enabled the waiting room. So when you do join, Kevin will let you in. He's going to explain exactly what's going to happen. It's a brand new feature. We always like to try new things all the time. We see how they work, if they gel with you, and if they're successful, we carry them on. So Kevin's got a big announcement to do on this, the latest new educational resource for you from Zenler. So I'm going to hand over to Kevin. Also, I'll pop up if Kevin needs me as a guinea pig to start the session off and talk about things, then I will pop up if he asks me to. Over to you, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank you, David. And I will most definitely be using you as a guinea pig, because we need someone to kickstart things off so people can see how it's done, and just how easy all of this is. So I'm going to start off by talking about why we do, or specifically why I do some of the things that I do within New Zenler, because as a learning management system, it's easy to think, well, you know what, I just want to create courses. I'm just going to record stuff. I'm just going to throw it into a system. I want to sell it. That's it. Why do we do all of this other stuff? The stuff like Liz has been doing, the stuff like Zen Chat, the stuff like On the Couch with Zenler. And I was sitting here thinking before I came on, you know, it's one of those situations that you don't know that you need it until you've experienced it. And then you go, where has it been all my life? And it's one of those scenarios. The same with Zen Zone. And On the Couch with Zen will be no different. So let me tell you what it's about first, and then I'll tell you why you would like to get involved. And then if people want to jump on with me live, David's going to share the link to the Zoom there. You'll go into a waiting room. Hopefully I'll see you, and then we'll get you on screen. Now, remember, if you do come on with me, you just need a working camera and a working microphone. I'm not too fussed as to, you know, it doesn't matter what your background's like. Have you got a professional layout? All of those things. It's really not what interests us when we get involved in these live events with the amazing community in New Zenler. We're more interested in you, the human being, making that connection and having a conversation about what it is that you're up to. So On the Couch with Zenler is going to be one of the things that we run on a weekly basis. So there'll be one On the Couch with Zenler sessions per week. Now, there's not going to be a fixed time or date for this. It will be put into the Facebook events the week before, so people know when it's going to be going live. We are going to be streaming it directly into YouTube. Now, why are we streaming directly into YouTube? It's really important for us here at New Zenler to use the tools that we have. So New Zenler as a platform focuses heavily on the live element of what we can do in the platform itself. So if you're a pro or premium user, you get access to all the live stuff. So that's live webinars, live interactive webinars, live classes, and of course, live on social media, which is Facebook or YouTube. Now, we run things like A Day with Zenler, office hours, and Zen pop-ups using the new Zenler system streaming through that directly into our Facebook group, which is amazing. It's brilliant. It works. We can all see it works because you're all watching this and you're here now and you're experiencing it. What we haven't done up to now is done a huge amount using that integration within New Zenler live streaming onto YouTube. Hence why we're going to do On the Couch with Zenler. So after today's sort of an introduction to it. So you get to know, well, when they suddenly pop up on YouTube, what's it all about? So that's what today is about. But it's only going to go onto YouTube. We're not going to do a recording and then put it into Facebook and all of that type of stuff. That's not going to happen. We're doing it on YouTube. We've got a nice audience over there. Lots of you are over on the YouTube channel as well. And if you're not, you really should be, because as David mentioned earlier, we've got resources over there that are really, really useful for you. But this adds a new dimension to what we're achieving over there. So it's going to be a very informal session. We're going to be very conversational. It doesn't matter if there's one of you, two of you, five of you on. I'm going to be like the Michael Parkinson, Terry Wogan, if you remember Terry Wogan, Letterman, if you're American. I don't know any others. So I'm going to stop there while I'm winning. Dame Edna Everidge. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, one of those where I'm going to be sat there and I'm going to just have a conversation with you about what you've been up to within your New Zenler school, your area, what you've been developing, what you're up to as a course creator, if you've had any real awesome moments during the course of the last week that you want to share with people, and sort of delving into that a little bit more. Now, why do you want to get involved with this? And that's really the big question in anything that we do. What's the benefit for you as a Zenler user or as a course creator? So I've come up with a little list here. I just was thinking about it and I thought, you know what, it's a good question, because if I don't actually understand why I want to be involved, generally I don't get involved. So I've come up with a little bit of a list here. Now, remember, we're streaming this live onto our YouTube channel and it will go into a playlist. So it's going to sit there for quite some time. So the first reason you'd want to get involved with this is visibility, of course, because when we are creating our stuff in New Zenler, we're creating courses. You know, one of the most asked questions is, how do I get noticed with the course that I'm creating? We've talked about this extensively. We've talked about marketing. There's been marketing courses. There's been YouTube courses. There's all sorts of things going on there. But this is just another avenue using the New Zenler audience, our channel, for you to come on and be noticed. So that's the first reason. You become more visible in what you're trying to achieve within your courses, because of course you get to talk about it. So that's fine. And if we're organised, and I'm not sure how organised we're going to be with this right now, anybody that comes on, we may, and it's a may, put the links to your New Zenler sites in on the playlist when it goes into the playlist with the recording. Two, why do we want, another reason you want to come on? Well, visibility is one thing, authority is a different thing. So we need to, if we're going to sell courses, if we're going to be seen as the go-to person for what it is that we instruct upon, we need to be seen as an authority. And we can do that via an environment like On the Couch with Zenler, because you get to talk about what you know. How do you become an authority? By talking about, demonstrating, showcasing what it is that you know as an instructor. It's really that simple. It's not a complicated process. And if you're at the point where you're using New Zenler to sell the information you know, the teachings that you have, then you are quite clearly an authority. It's just some people don't know that you are. So you will gain some authority in what you do by coming on here. The next reason that I've got is being part of a community. And this is massively important for us. We work tirelessly as an education team to keep engaging with the New Zenler community. You know, we think you guys are awesome. You girls are awesome. Everybody using New Zenler is there because they're doing really well in what their field is and they're moving forward. But we don't just go, here's a platform, leave you on your own, get on with it. You know, we're not really interested. The community aspect of what we have within New Zenler is amazing, and people get involved at different levels. Some come in and they come on nearly every Zen Zone. They're getting to know the product educators. They get to know me and David, the lead product educators, and they get to know Rakesh as one of the founders of New Zenler, because we're all accessible at certain times throughout the course of the month on the different shows, channels that we're on live. So it does become part of a community. And when we're part of a community, it makes us feel good. It's that simple. You've just had Liz that's making you feel good. She's put you into a very Zen state, hopefully, but not too Zen you're asleep and you don't come on the couch. I don't want you falling asleep on the couch. But she puts you, and you feel good about that. And being part of a community should be something that makes you feel good. You should be interested, excited, happy to be coming into our Facebook group, to come on to any of our boot camps, to come on the couch, come on to a day with Zenler, come on to office hours or any of the things that we do, knowing that the more you get involved, the more you get to know other new Zenler users, you get conversation going, and it's just a nice feel. It's something that a lot of people have lost the art of, being part of a community. Where we live, we tend to batten down the hatches. We don't make eye contact with the neighbours in some cases. We live a very isolated life, doing what we're doing. And the community element seems to have become less of a priority. However, we know that if we are part of a community, it's a positive thing, especially a nice environment like we've created with New Zenler. And you can get involved as much as you want to. And of course, this is just an extra to what you have by using the new Zenler platform. So being part of a community. The fourth reason is it's a bit of fun. And, we should be enjoying what we're doing. It goes hand in hand with the community aspects. You come on to Zen Chat, for example, there's a little bit of formal stuff going on there, but we have a bit of a laugh in there as well. You come on to any of the boot camps that we run, and yes, there is an element of we're going to show you how to do stuff, but we have a laugh and some fun whilst we're doing it. Because if we enjoy what we're doing, if we enjoy the community and the things that we're involved in, then we're going to do more of it. We do more of it, we progress, we earn and sell more courses, and we make more money, and then we can just keep on going and building. Now, that's really important. Now, the next one I think is probably more pertinent to some of you than others, but it certainly helps with everybody, and that's the ability to gain confidence. Now, I did hear a little bit of what Liz was saying, and, I didn't listen to the whole thing because I'd still be sound asleep, as in I'd be so relaxed, I'd be in my own little zone, and I couldn't do that. But confidence is a massive thing. When we get on to, if we're going to use the live streaming element of New Zenler, we're going to use the live webinars, we're going to do even just video recordings of our courses, we have to build our confidence. And what better way to build our confidence when you're on with someone or people that are actually, they've been there, they've done it loads, they've trained people, they're comfortable, they're encouraging, and you're in an environment where you're going to only ever succeed. So that will help you to start to build your confidence. I see it in Zen Chat all of the time. It's my first time. It's my first time I've come on to a session like this, talking about my business in front of 40 new people that I don't know. And they come in nervous, they leave excited. And any of you that have been on there with me will know exactly what that means. So confidence is not one to be dismissed. It is something that you gain and you build slowly. You don't instantly go from feeling no confidence to, oh, I've been on a live, I'm now confident, because you'll still get those nerves, you'll still get that. You've got to do it a few times, quite a few times, to just build yourself up very slowly, very gently. And then before you know it, that fear that you had, that, oh, what are people going to think, that all sort of goes by the by. So, oh, I've got Hannah on. Oh, yeah, she's in the waiting room. Excellent. Excellent. So, confidence. And the last thing is that we can do on the couch with Zenler is you can make an ask. And I'm quite happy for you to do this. So, a bit like we do in Zen Chat, if you come on and I've been doing this and I'm progressing with this, or I've built my lead magnet or whatever, then, you can come and ask for people on there. If you're watching this and you're really into training your fish to jump through a hoop, whatever, and I've just launched this free lead magnet, anybody that wants it, here you go, come and have a look, come and support, etc. We can do all of that stuff as well. So loads of reasons to get involved. I've got my first participant. I'm so excited. Hannah, that's going to come on with us, and we're going to see how this works out. I'm just going to admit right now Hopefully she'll be able to join me. If not, David, you're going to have to jump on and we'll get going. But this is what On the Couch with Zenler is about. As I say, reasonably informal, nice and friendly. Hannah is here, but not got camera on or mic on at the moment. David, do you want to jump on while Hannah's just sorting themselves out?
Hello, yes. Look, I'm all ready. Unbelievable.
You changed your t-shirt as well. Come on, you can't fool me once and it's on me, fool me twice and it's on whatever that saying is. I can't remember, but yeah, you can't get me twice on that. But, cool. Okay, right. So let's start off. So there is no real format to this, but what I want to do is I want to find out, really. Oh, you've gone again. Find out what the premise of this is what have you been up to the last week in New Zenler or as a course creator? Now, I know you as lead product educator, you're in and out of the system pretty much every day, doing bits and pieces and all of that. But what people may or may not know is that you also have New Zenler sites outside of what you do as lead product educator, same as I do, same as most of the team do. So let's open the conversation up. With what have you been up to in the course of the last week? Have you found any little cool features that you forgot about? And we can all forget about them. Any aha moments? What have you been up to?
Yeah, there's always aha moments because, like you said, we're in the platform all the time, but we do run our own businesses outside of this. Now, it's funny enough because I basically just for my online courses, my main ones, my 3D ones, I still only use the basic features. I only use a video, I use the communities, and I use the download. That's all I need. So I keep my life really simple. Obviously, there's automated emails that go out. And with the new features that are adding, it does make it easier because I've got a lot of media. So one of the great features that I use now is media tagging. So I tag all my media, my images, so I can really quickly filter and sort them out. And that was something that was added, 6-7 months ago? Yep. So for me, that was a real game changer. And also the other big game changer, and I know you agree with me on this, Kevin, is the bulk actions. It's just phenomenal. You can just take people out, export them out, bring them back in. You can unenroll them for a course, put them into another course. You can remove all the tags. And this was a big one because people have multiple tags scattered through and they didn't want to go through them individually, changing them. Now with the bulk actions, you can really hit it. So it might not seem like they're like the main features, because we go, oh, the app is the big one. The calendar is the big one, the live. But for me, it's the little things that make it so much easier to manage a business, cool. That's what I feel.
Well, we've got Hannah and Tracy here. So ladies, you can put yourselves on video. David, stay, don't go anywhere. We can have more than one person on the couch. It's a big couch. So yeah, do feel free to stick your webcams on. And whilst you're coming in, I'm going to ask David another question because David is like the guy with the cape as far as the tech side goes of New Zenler, the platform. He's done a lot of the tutorials and all of that. Now, here's a pertinent question and one that I'm sure probably a lot of people will be thinking but won't ask, so I'm going to ask it. What have you struggled with the most as a feature or part of the New Zenler platform, and how did you overcome it?
Struggling. I've been just doing this stuff for so long. It might sound sort of big-headed, but I don't really struggle with this stuff because, and that's another thing, it's such a plus point for Zenler from my point of view, is you really have a lot of power, and you can really push the system. So maybe, and I understand it, we get a lot of messages and mails coming about automations, how they work. They can't kind of work them out, especially the relationship between funnel steps and automated emails, which although they seem like they're connected, they're not. And that is something that throws a lot of people out. So I see a lot of problems coming in. Obviously, there's little tweaks to be done that I'm like, oh, God, I wish it did that. So I just feed back to support, like you guys do in the community. You feed back to support. We also do the same. If we find something and we think that's a bit hard to do or that doesn't work, we always feedback as well. So we do what you do. But as far as finding a platform, it's so easy. That's the problem. That's the plus of it. Like if you've done, like you guys that are doing WordPress sites and things like that, you're going out trying to find the right plugin, that's the wrong plugin, uninstalling it, finding another one, putting that in, does that work, uninstalling it, and going through these hoops, which you don't get with Zenler because you've got it all there. So you can just tap into it. It works. If it doesn't work as expected, you put a support ticket in or you ask on the community and they give you the answers. So nothing springs out at me, Kevin, with what I've had trouble with the system. I can't think of anything. I mean, I would if I could.
I mean, some people have difficulties as in just understanding the system. Some people there's bits. So for example, okay, let me turn it upside down then. When you go into and you're creating a new course or you're doing something on one of your sites, what's the bit that you enjoy the most? Let's flip it that way.
Yeah, I think that the best bit for me is the designing it all, is actually making it look good. Also, the other thing that I enjoy so much, because I like to give my brain a workout. So I like to try different things out. Sometimes that can annoy, if you're working in a team like we are, sometimes that can annoy other people because it's like,
really?
well,
I hadn't noticed.
So sometimes I'm testing things out, trying things out, like instead of using, for instance, I'll give you an example of this. Like in the last live challenge that we run, instead of sending the emails out, because I was getting messages coming in saying, oh, I didn't get the email to the live. So I was like, right, okay. So if they've joined up, but they're not getting the live, they haven't booked the spot. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll flip it. And instead of that, I'll send the email out, because we know the date the live is going out, but I'll send it through the course. That way, it doesn't matter if they've booked or not, they're still going to get that email. And when they come into the lesson, then they'll see book your spot and they'll click it and go through. So that is a kind of learning thing. But I get lots of my learning, all my pretty much all of them, all of the workshops or anything that I do, I get it from the community because they're putting questions in there and I'm trying to figure out, and is this too hard to use? If it's too hard to use, we talk to the team, Kevin and Rakesh, and they try and tweak it so make it better and easier to use. So that's kind of how I see it. I just kind of like trying things out. I like designing, making things look flash and on brand as well. I know I can be really annoying like that. Kevin will attest to that.
Test and measure. It's always good. It's just good to know when you're in the test and measure situation. We've got Tracy with us. Tracy, hi, good morning to you from the UK. How are you?
Tracy, sounds off. Oh, she's getting set up.
She's getting set up. We'll come back to you.
Okay, I think I've got it.
Okay. Hannah, are you around? I can see you're still in the room, but you don't. There you are. Good morning. How are you? Excellent. Right. We're just, while the ladies are just getting set in.
Oh, there you go. Audio.
You got audio now?
Tracy's jumped on.
Okay.
Tracy was doing groceries when I messaged her.
That's right. And I'm cooking dinner now.
Nice. Making me feel hungry. Right. Okay. Let's go then. So, ladies, thanks for jumping on and experimenting with us. So, for people that probably may or may not be familiar with either of you, do you want to just give us a quick 20 seconds about what it is that you do and how you use New Zenler? Hannah, we'll start with you, please.
Okay, I hope my audio and everything will go well because usually I have connection problems here in South Africa. So yes, I'm a total beginner and I am a very beginner in Zen Zone, the regular,
Yeah.
So it has helped me tremendously a lot. I can only say cheers and coffee to that. For me, I am building a course on it's personal development on how to get people to get their creative spark back if they don't know what to do or whatever. But I have tech problems, not Zenler problems, tech problems like not having a proper laptop and things like that. So I do everything manually, like in books and books, mind maps, lesson plans, whatever. So eventually, when I get there, I've got a basic setup in Zenler on the free version. But I am building steadily and slowly. And shortly, that's what I do. And I can just say for Zen Zone, if it wasn't for Zen Zone and you guys, I will be totally lost. And the progress that we make is tremendous, fantastic. It's just brilliant what you guys put together. Yeah, so that's my story.
Awesome.
So I'm glad to be a part of Zenler. Eventually I'll get.
And we're glad to have you as part of Zenler.
Thank you, guys.
So I'll come back to you in a second.
Yeah.
Let's just go over to Tracy. Tracy, while you're peeling your carrots, you couldn't make it up, could you? This is brilliant.
That's right. It's the timing, guys.
So quick
Being
intro, Tracy, please.
Okay, I've been with Zenler for, when did I come in? 2019. So, but I didn't really launch and start using it until September of that year, I believe. And I was with a different platform with the majority of it prior to moving everything over to Zenler. So I run 2 different memberships, plus I have standalone courses, all on Zenler now, using the live features extensively. I'm planning madly today and tomorrow for my next one on Sunday morning and again on Monday morning for a different group. And so I do everything totally myself, and I certainly appreciate all the tutorials because I've learned a lot. I haven't been able to implement much lately because I've been travelling interstate doing service trips now that borders are open and people are wanting me, which is where I've also been this afternoon fixing machines. So my main purpose is there's 3 ways I can support my customers, and primarily it is supporting machine quilters. So this is quilting, and those that have industrial long arm quilting machines and computer systems on them. But I'm supporting them in running their own home-based business. One membership is purely learning the computer side of things, how to run their computer quilting systems and the software, and the trial, all the issues that they have in understanding how to get the most out of that system. And then the bigger one is supporting them in their business endeavours, how they can be successful in running a home-based business using their passion. I'm sorry, I can see I've got lights behind me, so you can't see me too well. But yeah, it's so that they can be successful in their own home-based business to suit their lifestyles, whether they're carers for elderly parents or for young children. I have a big range now. There's over 100 in the gold membership, which is the upper with everything. The IntelliQuilter Summit, there's about 700 on the books. About 280 of those are paid members now. So, and then where I need to start pushing more is getting new cold students in to purchase individual courses, and then trying to get them to do the marketing, get the advertising happening, so that can just tick itself over, which would be much, much nicer. My only regret is I started out with both memberships at different times, but I did start out with a period for an all access pass or a lifetime deal, and obviously that's where a lot of those paid members are, but they're on a lifetime deal, so I'm not getting recurring revenue. The gold membership, it's 50-50 now, so I've now got more paying members than I have the lifetime deal ones, and I have put the price up once, so that helped.
That's always
so
nice.
That's what I do. I help machine quilters, and all I seem to do is troubleshoot in my real life as well, let alone online.
So we've got someone that's quite new, Hannah, brilliant, quite new to New Zealand, with Tracy, who's been around for a few years, which is great. So my questions for all of you is what have you been up to? Because one of the things I really like about running any form of course area or membership or anything like that is there's always something to do. There's always something we can improve on. There's always something we need to tweak, or, you know, we go back to that sales page and just put a new testimonial in, or whatever it might be. So over the course of the last week, what have you been working on that you've gone, actually, I'm quite pleased with that. That went quite well.
You want to go first?
Yeah,
I've just finished a 14-week course, and my next step is I still haven't done it because I was 7 hours away when I did the final one on Wednesday. But I'm just gathering my reviews now, and I'm going to be updating the sales page of that course. It's one where it's only open for a few weeks and then it's closed again, so that the students can work along with me for that entire 14-week course. And so now I can get my reviews, redo my sales page, and now my next big challenge is learning how to market it again and be able to present it for a second time and actually earn some better dollars out of it.
No.
Now that all the hard work's done. Now that I've done all the contents created, it was a lot of content.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, we can achieve quite a lot in a week. David, have you done anything this week that you thought, actually, I'm really proud of that?
Yeah, aside from Zenler, I'm trying to, now that I'm kind of waiting a little bit. You see, like, you've got the Surf Dudes here, which is like this almost community setup. And I want to, I've got lots of leads in there. I've been communicating with them, telling them what's going on, but I really am waiting for the new communities to come out before I can really launch that, because it's really community based. So for me, that is going to be a massive one for that particular site. But on my Mojo one, I'm setting up at the moment. I've got leads coming in. So I'm trying to promote a workshop that I want to do, almost like a summit day. Well, it's like a day with Zenler, really, except it's a little bit more intense, because it'll just run all day, and I've got to do a lot of work live in front of people. So I'm getting people in for that, which will be a big thing, and I'll see how it runs. I can also keep those pre-recordings and sell that in itself as well. So I've set up a completely new site, because my 3D is, like, most of it is built around either producing miniatures, which is a big area that I also need to promote. The jewelry is already promoting itself, so jewelry design. But I've set up this other one called ZBrush Biotech. So it's kind of like bioorganica, where it's going to be all organic. So I'm driving traffic into that from my original site. So I've used two of the sites up. So I'm trying to get people in that and make it more membership based. So, but I'm not going to launch until communities comes into that either. So there's a lot of things hanging, you know. I could, use Mighty Networks or Circle or one of those and put that in there, but I don't want to do that. I can afford to wait. It's not like I'm not busy. So, so I'm waiting. So there's a lot of things coming up that I'm waiting for. I can't wait to start utilizing the calendar. I think that's amazing. You know, they keep adding things. I'm like, oh, that'd be handy. And then I don't use them.
I must admit, as a team, when we've got, obviously, we run a lot of stuff through our tutorial site. Now, when I go in there, I know exactly what's going on and when. It's so much easier. You stick it on the month view and you can just see and click and start, and it is just so much more organized, because we tried to set up an external calendar using Google, whatever it was, and it was a bit of a pain, to be perfectly honest. It's just so much easier now. Just go in there, have a look, right, that's scheduled and it's done. So we can see when everyone's on, can't we? So I think definitely for a team point of view, it's really, really useful. And I think that's the side that lots of people haven't discussed. They've talked about it from a client point of view, but as a team point of view, and obviously there's 6-7 of us, just to see who else is doing what, so we don't clash with things, is really important. So that's, for me, this week it's been a lot about the calendar, seeing how that works, using it a little bit more and understanding it. That's been a really good one.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant because it's like, yeah, it does, you know, we are trying to get it to fully replace things like Calendly and stuff, but actually using it as a tool for a team of people, then it's amazing because our team's growing and growing and growing. So they can just go there. We haven't got to set up any slides. We've scheduled everything and they can just go and use that as a tool. You could even lock that page off so no one else could see that page if you didn't want those lives to be public. So yeah, actually that's a good Zen pop-up to do, Kevin. Good one.
Right, so question for everybody again. I don't know if Hannah's still here, but she hasn't got a camera on, so she's having connection issues, but she might have audio. So what have you done? Because I talked about this earlier. We do lots of other things apart from just his tutorial site, go off and learn your stuff and live in your own little world. Is there anything that you've done? And Hannah talks a little bit about Zen Zone and what she'd done over there in the last week that's extra on top of what you would normally do. Where did you do it and how did it work out for you? So let me give you an example. You may have gone, so my partner, Sarah, she partnered up with a PR company and she did a talk in a Facebook group. There was about 2,000 in the Facebook group, teaching them how to SEO PR content. So that's what she did this week. And what happened on the back of that is we drove a load of subscribers over to our new Zenler site for a freebie that we were offering. So we ended up gaining around about 300 subscribers from that talk. So that's something we did to build our course area and the leads coming into our course. Yes, it wasn't directly in Zenler, but it led back into it. So what have you done over the last week or got planned for the next week to move what you're doing forward?
Yeah, for me personally, I'm still working on bits on the background. So it's, you know, it's the hard work side of it. It's kind of like doing all the videos, promotional videos and all those sort of things. But I need to commit more time to it because I spend a lot of time on Zenler and which has kind of become a passion. I've got to, you know, they're both passions because I'm doing it but Zenler's there as well. So like with the Zenler stuff, where, you know, obviously I was mentioning earlier, we've set up a TikTok channel, like a week and a half, 7,500 views. For me, that's really good. And it's learning as well. So you're trying things out, you're seeing how it goes. And, you know, who knows, eventually, maybe in a couple of months' time, once I've got even better stats, I'll then release that as a course or something into the platform itself. So you have these things. It's like, I know Kevin does exactly the same. You have these ideas, things like pick up and you run with them. That's what we tend to do, is run with it very quickly. So there's always something going on. It's a particularly busy month, as Kevin knows. We're doing a lot of stretching ourselves quite thin, trying to get things in, but it's going to be good for you guys. So that's what I do. I'm just continually working on things.
Tracy, what have you had going on or coming up?
Right. Just get my... Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Coming up is a new course, actually, and it will be another long one. So I've got to do, again, creating a lot of content. The basics are done, but this time I want to do a much better job with the marketing. So I'm going to go back through your marketing course again and try and improve the reach of getting some. I've got 2,000 on my list now, and they are purely ones that have signed up through Zenler, not from what I started out with on the other platform, but that's doubled since I've been with Zenler. So I'll focus on those, but I will try and broaden it to some really huge Facebook groups that I'm a part of, that I contribute a lot to my expert status with my knowledge of machine quilting and sewing machines and mechanics of them. And that'll be the aim. I need to get some new people in, and I'll get to start getting even more reviews to be able to push a new course that is partly ready. Then I've got to get ready for a major show that's live here in Australia. So I've still got some more prep work for that in November. So always got something happening.
Awesome. Anna, are you able to talk? I don't think she is. So she's just put a message in saying studying the creative course.
I'm here.
You're there?
Yeah. Yes, for me, just as I said in the chat, for in case my connection is gone, I am studying or currently working on a creative illustration course that I'm attending myself, to be able to also help other creatives illustrating or whatever they do, or creating a course or creating something artistic. I'm trying to see how my journey works, and then I want to give that back to my community where I'm in. So that's what I'm trying to work out. And also I figured out that my niche needs to change. So I'm in that process as well. Thank you, guys. Well done, Tracy and David and Kevin.
Interesting.
You are big examples.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm going to start wrapping up the On the Couch now, but thank you, Tracy, and for Hannah and David for coming on and experimenting with me. I think there's work to be done on this, but we've made a good start. It's been brilliant. I'll get the links. If you both want to send us the links to your sites, we'll add them in under the replays that go out on YouTube for this section of what we've done. But, you know, part of this On the Couch is also to inspire, to help, to support other people that may be struggling, and understanding what people are doing with their courses, where they may be marketing, where they're trying to promote themselves to come into their areas. You know, Tracy's a good example. I've got an exhausted list. I need to get new people on my list. That's quite a common one. You know, people do get stagnant lists. They do get out of touch. They do reach the point where they're only ever going to move so far with you in your business, whatever that may be. And everybody has that. It's absolutely natural, which is why whenever we talk marketing and we talk funnels and leads, we are constantly, our goal is not just to nurture the lead to its completion. It's to constantly be bringing new people in. And if you don't do that, at some point you will sit there stagnating, thinking nothing's happening for me. So really great example of that, and good ideas of also how you can take the offline and the online and make them work together. So, which is really important, because we forget about that. We forget, actually, just because we meet someone physically at an event, why can't they see what we're doing online too? We can still bring people in that way. So Tracy's just put her link to her site there. So thank you for that. Hannah will grab yours, or if you want to put it in the chat, that would be awesome. But ladies, David, thank you so much for coming on the couch with Zenler. It is our first one. Great experiment. Hopefully there was some value to the people watching this. I'm now going to hand back to David to close off this session of A Day with Zenler. I've enjoyed it. I think it's been a good experiment. Let's see you on YouTube when we start in August, which will be next week. So hopefully I'll get a few more people on. Tracy, you're more than welcome to come back, as is Hannah, and we'll just carry the conversation on. So thanks, everyone. David, I'm going to hand back to you.
Lovely. Thank you. And thank you, guys. Right. So we are back. So that was On the Couch with Zenler. So going to just, you can carry on your cooking now, Tracy. I shall see you soon. Right. So let's just set this up. Fabulous. And lovely to meet you, Hannah. Hopefully we'll see more of you soon. Take care. Okay, fabulous. So yeah, Kevin's finished there. We're at 11:45 now. We normally wrap up at 12. So that was the last session. So that is a bit of an introduction to what On the Couch with Zenler is all about. So it'll be streamed into our YouTube. Now, what Kevin's going to do is this is not going to be at a set time. It's going to work with Kevin's schedule. So he's going to work out sort of the day before or something when he's going to do one. Then he's going to put it into the events in Facebook. Okay, so inside there, you'll be able to go in there when he actually goes live on YouTube, and he'll probably put the link in there, a direct link to the Zoom. So what it means is you can go straight through in there. We might change the way that's working. We're not sure yet, but that seems to work. So if we put it in there, people can just jump in. They go into a waiting room, and then Kevin lets them in. Now, if you don't get in for that session, don't worry, because you can turn up at the next session or any of those things. But it's a very casual way of finding out what you as users are doing, what troubles you've had. You never know what question Kevin's going to sort of fire at you, but he won't make you feel uncomfortable. It won't be anything. It will be very casual, light, and you know what Kevin's like. He looks after you. So he never makes you feel uncomfortable or any of those sort of things. He just puts questions to you, and you can just answer them honestly, how you feel about the platform. Good, bad, indifferent. We need to know this. So for us, it's really good as well, because it's almost like a market research. It's like finding out, and it's a little bit different. It's more casual. It's finding out how you use the platform and how it's helping you. Whereas later on this afternoon, on the last slot, we have your say, this is kind of like coming off the back of the Zenler Couch, which will be, you can jump in there and you can tell me like what features you want added, what tweaks to things, why, because we might find that by doing this, we actually find that there are ways to do it. So if you're telling me something, I'll say, well, I might already say, well, you can do that. So these are things that can start conversations. These are kind of starter conversation things. And this is a really, really quite a powerful way to drive engagement. It can take a while to get traction before people start showing up. A bit like the Zen Zone, Zen Chat. People didn't know what they were. When they started going to them, they then said, right, this is really good for my business. This sets me when I've got to turn up there, what I've got to do, or you turn up and you network with someone each week, each other week. So it can push you forwards. And that's our goal. We're trying to always find a way where we can get traction, where you're communicating, sometimes feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but the next time you do things, you become more comfortable. Now, as we know, being on camera and being live is the number one way to convert leads to paying customers. That's a fact, because you're talking to them, you're addressing their concerns, you're not writing a book in messages back and forwards, and also like with messages, things can get misunderstood. Someone can be, especially like from different countries, they might word things differently that seems a bit kind of like, oh, that's a bit harsh. They didn't mean it that way. So actually communicating live is really good, because you get to see them and you get to build that connection with people. Plus, who doesn't like making new friends and meeting people and understanding cultures from all over the world? We all need that. And it's good for our learning process as well, because it makes us learn, it makes us grow. Maybe we're actually finding that our niche might change based on talking to people from different countries. You might say, actually, there's a real big need for that in that country. Maybe I need to tie up with this person. Can we go to a Zen chat, network with them? Can you do translations? Can we work together on this to get this launched in your country? These kind of things can be just priceless. And like we said, everything we do on Zenler is absolutely free. So I love the concept and idea of On the Couch with Zenler. And I think it's going to be a success. I just think it takes a little while to get the traction, especially if we're outside the Facebook group. So we will be telling you about it. I'd probably be jumping up and telling you when something's on to get that initial traction going, as I'm sure Kevin will as well. There'll probably be some mails go out. It might be in this week's, on the 15th, the newsletter goes out. Something else to talk about as well. We do produce a newsletter. It goes out on the 1st and the 15th of each month. And inside that newsletter, we tell you about anything new going on. So the last one that went out, we did storytelling. The next one that's going out is going to talk about On the Couch. It's going to talk about all the Zen pop-ups that we're doing, because a lot of you might not have seen them. And in fact, we're going to relate to that this afternoon when Manmeet talks about getting the right hardware and software on a budget. And we're going to talk about one of the videos that's already on the Zen pop-up that is absolutely free to use and could save you a lot of time in processing your videos for courses and a lot of other stuff as well. So we are super excited by this. I'm going to check the chat, see if there's anything in there before we kind of wrap up this session. So a big thank you also to everybody today, to Manmeet for doing the Zen Zone slot, for Liz doing what's 5 or 6 meditations that we're going to produce out as audio files for people to put hashtag Liz is the best in the chat, otherwise you won't get it. And also to Kevin for introducing the new On the Couch as well. And we're starting again at 3 o'clock. So that's in roughly 3 hours time, and we're going to jump straight in with that at 3 o'clock with Alice. So Alice is going to come on and do some social stuff. She's not told me what it is. Always a surprise with Alice, so she'll be popping up and speaking for an hour. Then we have Manmeet on as well. She's going to be doing the session on hardware and software, and then we're going to finish up. We might finish earlier today, depends if the questions come in there. We're going to have your say. If you guys are not jumping in to the live like Kevin got today, then what will happen is, instead of have your say, I'll just be talking about some of the new features, and I'll also might address some of the Facebook posts that have gone in. I know people have tagged me on the Facebook group. I try to get to them. I try to produce the videos, but it's really under the constraint of if I've got the time to do it. We've had an extremely busy month this month. It's been extremely busy. Highlighted by the fact that I was off for a week or so, still filling in but doing bits. So there's a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of things going on that I can't talk about now, but they're massive. So and Rakesh is also talking to the team as well, development team, about lots of different things as well. So we can announce a lot of things, but it's been an extremely busy month, and that's why I haven't jumped on there. So don't think that just because you've put a post and tagged me and I haven't replied to it that I'm missing it. It's just that I'm extremely busy, so sometimes I don't get the chance. After this month, mid-August, I should be okay, and then I'll be back on and hitting it with the Zen pop-ups, which I wanted to do once a day. So obviously we set up social media channels, and you should belong to at least one of them, so you see the latest posts that come out as well. So Hannah Lee, thanks for joining us, Hannah, as well. I know you've been here all morning. That's brilliant. That's fabulous. It's really good to see you on the lives. Jump into some of the lives. I know you're on Zen Zone, so you love Zen Zone. Try Zen Chat. Okay, Zen Chat is a superb way of getting in there. And if you get a chance, try and drop onto some of the office hours. We alternate office hours on Wednesday between 5 p.m. and it also goes at 10 a.m. So we jump the slot. So 10 a.m. might work for you, Hannah, there. So fabulous to see you all, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Because otherwise I'll just be half finishing something with 9 minutes to go. So we're going to be back at 3 o'clock. So that is 3 hours and 9 minutes, and we'll be back live on air. And the first person is our product educator, Alice, and she'll be talking about social media of some description. She's going to surprise, probably something completely different. I don't know. So yeah, another great morning session from us. Hopefully you've liked it. So I'm going to cut this off now, and make sure 3 o'clock, remember, checking the events on Facebook, you'll see Zenler, David Zenler Session 2. Just click that, and then just pop up at 3 o'clock and we'll be live on there, and Alice will be doing her presentation. It's like gold dust, some of this stuff. Now, also remember, just before I go, these videos that we're doing, they do go onto our YouTube channel. They're on our YouTube channel. So if you go in there, you can see the latest. They normally go in about a day or two later from this live broadcast. Now, inside of that are timestamps. So if you go into any of the the Day with Zenlers, I'm just going to flick one up. Hold on. And I'll just share my screen just quickly. What you're going to find is that we timestamped everything. So you can see exactly what's going on. So if you're interested in Alice setting up blog CTA, customizing blogs, you can click that and it will jump straight to that section of the site. So we timestamp or chapter stamp all of our videos on a day with Zenler, so you can quickly get to that information that you need. So hopefully that's going to help you guys. Remember also the search functionality inside of YouTube, and remember the tutorials.newzenler.com site, that if you are using the big guide, which is the complete guide to Zenler, we have search functionality in there. You also might have noticed that we have made the searchy that we've got in there, the big search in there that searches transcripts for any word. Inside the complete guide to Zenler, we've formatted all of the titles, so you can see clearly if it belongs to a course or whether it's like a Zen pop-up, whether it's an Ask Zenler, so you know that it's part of a course or not part of a course. So we're continually doing these things. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going through. We're trying to harmonize everything and make stuff easier, and well, that's what we've been having lots and lots of meetings about, to try and make stuff just easier for you to get to, easier for us to find material as a team. And this is what happens when you grow as a team. It's really important to keep everything organized so all team members know where everything is. So that's what's going on, just as a little behind the scenes information for you. So I'm going to stop this now. Like I said, again, thank you for everyone that took part in David Zenler, and thanks to all the team members for backing me up and supporting me. And we shall be back at 3 o'clock, where we will be having Alice on there and Manmeet on there with 2 really good presentations. And then to finish it off, you can have your say, where you can come on. Okay, guys, so I will see you soon. And yeah, have a good rest of the day, or 3 hours if you're going to join us again. See you soon. Bye.